So you're looking to establish your business's online presence. Excellent, it's a great choice. A website is what we consider step 2 of the core 4 marketing moves. Just for reference, step 1 is brand development, step 3 is photo video content, and step 4 is social media. When doing search engine optimization research for our own website, we learned that pricing is the most popular question people are asking online when it comes to website design. So welcome to today's video. I'm going to break down some different options for getting your website built and how much you can expect to spend. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the cheapest option, do it yourself, AKA DIY. There are 2 platforms that I can confidently recommend. I'm sure you've heard of them, Squarespace and Wix. Each of these platforms allows you to build your own website without needing to know HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. They're one-stop solutions, which is great. If spending the least amount of money is your top priority, then DIY using Squarespace or Wix is going to be your best bet. You can expect to pay under $100 a month for your website. This is the biggest pro in the DIY column. These platforms have done a great job at making it so you can get your site up and running all by yourself. Now, this is where I'll note the biggest con in the DIY category, which is the time you, the business owner, will need to invest in building and working on your website. It's common in the early days of business to wear all the hats, to do all the responsibilities yourself. As the business develops, one of the biggest skills to learn is how to delegate tasks. Learning your strengths, leaning into those, and trusting others to help you in those areas where they are experts. Talking about hiring team members and being okay with the fact that they are more skilled than you in their area of expertise. As I went through the transition of being a solopreneur to hiring staff and building LaunchKit, this idea of right people in the right seats became one of my core values. Anyway, my point in saying all this is that there comes a time when the lowest priced option isn't always the best option when you take into consideration the value of your time. For example, it's a better investment for me to hire a plumber than it is for me to go to Lowe's, get the parts, figure out how to fix the issue, all just so I can do a mediocre job. So this leads me perfectly into option number 2, which is hiring a traditional web design provider. This could be a local freelancer or marketing agency. You can do a quick Google search for web design followed by your city's name and you will find a dozen companies. It can be a little bit tricky sifting through all the noise since the market is a bit saturated. So I'll give you a key thing to look for. Communication. When building, maintaining, and updating your website, communication's key. There's a lot of little moving parts that go into a website, so having a clear, organized, and productive means of communication with your website provider is essential. Honestly, the number one reason that people come to LaunchKit is because their previous provider had poor communication skills. All right, the second thing you're gonna wanna understand is their pricing model. The traditional web design provider follows a model where they're gonna bill you typically somewhere between about $1,000 and $10,000 upfront to build the website. For the record, I'm talking about a small service-based business website. So like a restaurant, contractor, or a professional services business. So anyways, they'll bill you the $1,000 to $10,000 upfront. Then you're responsible for the hosting plan, which will run you $50 a month or less. Then for the web design provider to do further work on the site, they will bill you some form of an hourly rate. I've seen a lot of companies bill around the $100 an hour mark. The good thing about this solution is that you're delegating work that maybe you're not the best at. By letting these guys spend hundreds of hours working on your website, you open up the bandwidth to actually run your business. You can be thinking about things like hitting your 1, 3, and 5-year goals instead of trying to SEO optimize your website. All right, now I need to put a big disclaimer for the next portion of this video. I'm going to provide my personal opinion, take it with a grain of salt. In 2020, I launched a new form of website design solution. This program went on to be one of LaunchKit's most popular services, and it's helped hundreds of small businesses build their online presence. We were providing website design via the traditional model that I just explained. We'd bill somewhere between $1,000 and $10,000 to get started. And then when you needed updates, we'd either do the work pro bono or we'd be like your lawyer and we'd basically bill you the second we picked up the phone. Honestly, neither of those was a fun option. One led to the business not making any money and one made us feel transactional. The billing for updates and maintenance, it was a big issue because like I said, the number one reason people were coming to LaunchKit was because their previous web design provider was impossible to get a hold of for website updates. Problem was was they didn't have systems in place for easily providing site updates. So small business owners like yourself would not bother updating the website with new information. The site would go outdated and eventually stop providing value to the business. I was watching this happen to small business owners over and over again, so it got me thinking about a new way of providing web design. The solution ended up being LaunchKit's web design program. In simplest terms, when you join LaunchKit's website design program, we design, develop, host, secure, and update your site. There's no upfront cost, there's no long-term contracts, you just pay your monthly membership, and it covers all the work we do. It's basically like our salary. We have plans that range from $269 a month to $599 a month, depending on what website features your business needs. You own your data, so the copywriting, images, videos that go on the site are yours, the analytics are yours, the leads, customer information generated from the site are also yours. We've developed an easy-to-use platform where you can manage your website project, send us new content, images, videos, blog articles. Our team's based here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm sitting here in the LaunchKit office right now. We do all of our client work in-house. All right, that's enough of a sales pitch. This video is about pricing, so let me rein this in. LaunchKit is basically a blend of the DIY platforms and the traditional agency model. We're like the DIY platforms in that you just pay a single flat fee for your website needs. We're just more expensive than Squarespace and Wix because our fee includes us doing all the work, not you. We're like the agency model in that you're going to get a custom designed site and expert guidance. We just don't bill upfront because we recognize that the real value of the site comes from continuously building, optimizing, and refining the site over time. Okay, there you go. I think that's enough for one video. Today we looked at 3 different options for building your business's website: the DIY model, the traditional agency model, and LaunchKit. I genuinely think all 3 of these can be great options depending on where your business is at. If your top priority is low cost and you have time to spare, go with DIY. I'd say if you have over 300 employees, need web application functionality or custom e-commerce solutions, I'd go with a traditional agency. If you're a small service-based business, go with LaunchKit. If you have any specific questions, I always include my email in the description below. I hope you found this video insightful. My goal in making these is to help at least one person build their business. That's all for today. We'll see you in the next episode.